I'm Janine Doyle. I'm a stay-at-home mom to 4 children, married to my husband, Francis.
I'm the aforementioned Francis Doyle. I was in the seminary for 1 year, and I decided almost midway through the year, pretty much, I knew that I wouldn't return. That just didn't seem to be, where I was being called. So I had been asked to go up to this camp to help out sort of as a leader at this camp. Janine just so happened to be there as a youth minister.
We kind of like spotted each other, and I knew he was a seminarian, so in my head I thought, okay, well, we'll just be great friends. And I remember my reaction was probably not what it should be when someone says, oh, they're not going back to the seminary. I probably should have been disappointed. But I remember I couldn't really hide my true feelings. And we would go to church, and then we would go to Tim Hortons and we'd get tea, and we would sit until they closed at Tim Hortons, and we'd be talking about everything, faith and life and our hopes and dreams. And yeah, the connection was just really strong early on. And yeah.
It was only after we were married that I told Janine I don't really like tea very much. I drank a lot of tea.
I still like tea. When Maggie, our oldest, was 5 years old, she was diagnosed with a life-threatening illness called aplastic anemia. So when you're faced with a chance that you might lose a child, it just brings you to your knees, basically. And luckily, she went through a year of treatment and now she's recovered, but we still have this experience of where, a child was almost taken from us. And that, I think, it just completely changed my faith and how I oriented myself to God.
But something I remember really specifically is being in the hospital room with Maggie, and we would get visits from friends, and our pastor came to visit, and those were important moments. But I remember specifically Maggie telling us, she said, there's nothing to worry about. Jesus just wants to see how strong I am. And Jesus wants to, remind us that he's here for us. And she was, parents are supposed to bring their kids through these things, but she was dragging us through it. And, we looked at her and said, if she can have that much strength and positivity and, that much trust, then we can too. And there's a lot of those little moments where, you just deal with what you had in front of you and say, God, I don't know about the next week or month or year, but, get me through today. And you get us through today.
I find it still pretty easy just to find joy in the little things, and it still catches me every once in a while when I'm spending time with Maggie. And I think, I almost didn't get this moment. So it's just something small, something simple. We think of the alternative of what God has spared us from, and every little thing is joy.
I know that's something that always brings me joy, is the knowledge that there's this reciprocity, especially among the community of believers, that we're kind of here for one another. And, with people that have suffered and struggled through, challenges, that there's a sort of a kinship. You get that fruit of that, the joy that comes from being Christ for someone else. When you set out in a marriage, for instance, you anticipate the highs and you look forward to the great things, but the strength you receive isn't for those things. It's really for the difficulties and the hardships and the challenges. And so you're reminding yourselves and remembering that God has a plan, that he's not left you, that he hasn't abandoned you, that he's there, that he's ready and willing and wants to help and to love you and to show you that, and to show you the next few steps if you can't see them yourself. And that plan is for our good. He wants good for us, and he doesn't want us to to go through difficulties, but sometimes allows them for a greater good. So it's easy to say, hard to do, but very worthwhile doing, I think, in the end.